Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. We have a extra special treat. We are about to see something together that no one outside of Hemlane has seen yet. And this is a sneak peek of some changes to the application. So Dana, why don't you tease us with what is coming, and then we can go ahead and share and see what's going on.
Yeah, and most of the Hemlane team hasn't seen
Oh,
it
no, really?
either. So yeah, so you guys are the first of the
Woohoo!
first to see it. So I wanted to walk through just a little bit about kind of design and why design is so important with landlords, of like why it is so important to walk through best in class practices.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is show you, this is the prospective tenants tab. And what a prospective tenants is it shows here are all your leads, here are the people who are interested in your property. And there's call to actions like, invite to a showing, write private notes and things like that. Applicants, you can go through, these ones are completing their application, so you have no call to action. And then these ones like upload the lease, request the security deposit. And your tasks will show this as well. But one thing that I have noticed throughout the process is that when people get into here, and this is most software, this is not just our software, this is most software, that we might kind of have like a call to action. And a call to action is a big button that basically tells you what's your next step. But it doesn't actually show you like why you should be doing it and what the user flow is of like what to expect next. And so the reason this is so important, let me give you an example. I've spoken with landlords who are like, oh my gosh, showing my rental property is so much work. I've done 50 showings. I go out every Saturday, someone cancels, and they're just so frustrated with the process. And I was like, well, before the showing, do you pre-qualify and make sure they have the correct income to rent ratio, credit score, and also that they haven't been evicted? Like if you can go through that process, if someone comes to you and is like, I don't really have it, then it's like, okay, well, a showing's probably not, you don't want to spend 30 minutes on a Saturday driving out to the property and doing that. And so the problem with what I saw with this was you would have to know to put the notes in here, or there's like pre-qualification questions that you see if they go through their pre-qualification, they haven't filled them out if the tenant goes through the process. But a lot of times, like if you're a good salesperson like you, Michael, you're pushing and saying, hey, let me close, let me get this person farther along in the process. And sometimes you don't want to wait for them to fill something out. So when you click into Seth here, we have completely changed this and how it looks. Now it's not 100% built, but I wanted to give you guys a sneak peek of it. Cool. So this is when you go into Seth now, this is what it looks like. And basically the reason we've changed this layout and made it larger screen, now it all is mobile friendly as well. But the reason we've made it this larger screen is a couple of things. One, when you go in, you can kind of see here what is incomplete and what we're trying to get to. And there's obviously two different things, the credit as well as the income and assets. And it's not just income, because assets, all like if they have 3 times the annual lease rental rate in their bank account, that could work if they maybe don't have as much income. So really looking at these, and then these obviously turn colors based on how good they are. And then you can look objectively at this tenant and how they're comparing to others, et cetera.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And then the qualification checklist is really important. Of basically before, when you looked at it, it didn't kind of let you know what the steps were, how much it costs. Like the application is free, the credit and background check is $30, but basically takes you through the step-by-step process of what you need to do, what's missing, what might be in progress, et cetera. So you can basically understand for Seth, what am I looking at? And then you have these quick actions like add a co-applicant, change property unit. Before, you always had that, you kind of have to search for it down here. And it was like very difficult to see, it was hidden. So now when we think about design and how we do things, it's how do we give you a full picture of what the process looks like, and then walk you through what are your next steps to do so you can go through it. And then with the invite to showing, it basically goes through, and as you're doing it, we're telling you does their credit meet this credit score that you have? Do they have this? And we'll tell you along the way, well, you probably shouldn't do a property showing with them until you have that information, because your time is so valuable.
Right.
And before, you didn't really see this type of stuff of like, what are we trying to get to? We're trying to get to a qualified applicant in the system. So we're excited because we're changing the user experience to have much more of this built into it, to really make it where you don't have to know the process. We walk you through it. We walk you through those best in class practices that property managers who've been doing this for 15 years just know. It's in their head. You don't need it in your head. We're going to have that in the user experience. So anyways, that is a little bit about how we're looking at qualifications and then the move-in checklist items as well, and walking you through best in class practices. So this should be launching in this month, at the end of this month, but wanted to give you guys a quick update on it.
That's very cool. And again, it's so fun to see Hemline evolve and really take in best practices. Because again, a lot of people that come to Hemline, it's their first, second, whatever unit it is. And you're really taking years of experience from other owners and property managers and always looking to improve. So I like these. These may appear like subtle changes, but you've just made it easier for folks to save time. That's what you've done here. So I applaud that effort and shout out to the team that did this. Sometimes the best software design, having sold software for decades, the best UI is there's subtle tweaks, but they're so powerful. So I think you've uncovered a couple here. So very nice work.
Thanks so much.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. This sneak peek was awesome, folks. Thank you very much, Dana.
Great. Thanks, Michael, for having me.